let's talk about a card each of us do like. Jarrett, what do you got? What's a card that you really like?
Oh gosh, my immediate answer is that they brought back Siege Rhino, but I feel like that's kind of cheating. That's
can't
very
cheat.
I mean,
good.
you could. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's
It's gotta
yeah.
be new.
Give me a new card. I mean, we all like
okay.
Siege Rhino. Who doesn't like Siege
It's a
Rhino?
new thing, though.
Yeah.
Right.
It isn't old. It isn't Siege Rhino. It's a new. It's basically Siege Rhino.
It's basically Siege Rhino.
It's a new Siege Rhino.
It's 1 mana less. It drains for 1 less. That's the only difference.
Mm-hmm.
But stat wise, it's the same. Still has trample. Still a 3/4, and that card was a menace when it came out.
Oh, it's really good.
Obviously, power creep has pushed us forward, but I still think this is going to see play. No, for me, it's got to be. I'm trying to find the name of the card here real quick. It's got to be the new Sultai one that gives all of your cards delve. It's Taval, Arbiter of Virtue.
Yeah.
Good
I
card.
was gonna say that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this is a 5 mana. It's in Sultai colors for a Spirit Dragon. It's a 6/6 flying lifelink. Whenever you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value, but they all have Delve. Now, Delve, I absolutely love. It's very broken. Delve is one of those things that destroyed Modern for a long time. It's still playable, obviously not as much. I think it was smart to hold this back by making you lose life equal to the mana value. But in recent history, they've really pushed life gain into like Golgari colors. Obviously traditionally white, but in a whiteless deck, there are still ways to get around this. I think this is one of the coolest build-arounds, particularly for Commander. And I think you can throw this into a lot of decks, even in the 99. Like I play a lot of Sultai, and the ability to just make all my big expensive stuff cheaper utilizing my graveyard, which is probably one of the biggest resources that people ignore in games. Just incredible to me. I love this card so much.
Yeah. Especially when it's any sort of card that just grants such a blanket powerful keyword to the cards that normally don't have it. That's always really cool.
And that I like that as a general concept too, because one of my complaints about card design in the last couple years, is that their Wizards' way to try to rein in power creep has been to put increasingly powerful abilities onto cards, but then limit them like once per turn or only at sorcery speed or whatever.
Right.
Like that's how they're limiting it, which I guess it's not the worst way to do it. But the problem is when you start doing these really powerful abilities that have a very specific set of circumstances that like where they're really good, is it encourages narrow deck building. So like it encourages you to build in the same vein all the time. And that's, I don't love that. So just because I think it, in Commander specifically, it encourages like deck homogeneity, which makes it makes the game less interesting, and it makes it Commanders nowadays build themselves more than older Commanders do when they had more generic abilities, things like that. And I think that's I understand why they're doing that as a way to combat power creep. I get it. But like I said, I'm a little bummed because they don't make wide cards that have a wide range of uses, but it's an incremental value versus having a big splashy thing that just has a very narrow use case. So I don't know, that part kind of bums me out a little bit, and I think we're seeing a little bit more of that too. So, that's why I like this card that you brought up too, where it just grants Delve broadly or whatever, and so it brings that mechanic into the game, and that's what I appreciate about that card, because it is an example of an older style of card that we don't see that much anymore. That gives you lots of flexibility.
I think too, like this is, with the exception of obviously you need life gain and stuff like Verdant Sun's Avatar. Really, the world is your oyster. It just encourages you to get like fill your graveyard, cast big things. And as somebody who's not really a Timmy player in any way, shape, or form, this is the closest I'm ever gonna get to that.
This is a very Timmy set too. So it's
Yeah.
Robbie, what do you got?
I had some choices, and I was really thinking about. There's easy choices like Dracogenesis, which just lets you put dragons out onto the board, which I think everyone and their mom has heard about. So we probably don't need to talk about. There's Ugin, Eugene, Eye of the Storms, which is massive for Eldrazi. But a card I'm more interested in, and because I've been kind of fascinated with Golgari, but never really gone full Golgari, is Colossal Grave Reaver, which is a 6-cost black and green dragon. Has flying. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, mill 3 cards. And then it says whenever one or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from your library, put one of them onto the battlefield on a 7/6 flying dragon body. Speaking of Timmy players, this is just a Timmy player reanimating other Timmy things. So my brain has been trying to make Nazguls work, like in a functional sense. So my Timmy brain
do they not work?
They do work.
I feel like the solution is just play the Nazguls.
I play the Nazguls, but it becomes very like you were talking about where the deck just kind of builds itself. I've been trying to think, how do I make a deck that's better at getting my Nazgul out faster and getting all 9 of the Nazgul out, as quick as possible, which is a tough task to do. So something like a Colossal Grave Reaver is a really, really fun way to do that, and then having a bunch of other reanimate stuff, have a bunch of other graveyard recursion stuff in your deck could be a fun way to play with this Golgari dragon that cost 8 to put onto the battlefield. So
off the top of my head, it'd be a fun way to do that is make a token copy of a Nazgul and then use that this would be a Grixis deck. So you make a token copy of the Nazgul and then use Brutaclad to make a ton of them.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, we've broken Nazguls. We've made them monsters.
Finally, someone has found a way to break Brutaclad.
Oh, thank goodness.
Someone has finally broken Brutaclad.
I think there's like a Ratabrink combo as well for Nazguls.
I
where
think,
you just make
Robbie,
a shit ton
I
of
think
them.
you should make a deck that's just Nazgul, Shadowborn Apostle, and Rat Colony, and just make like a 20 of in each deck. That's your whole creature base. Just Shadowborns, rats, and
we're getting
Nazguls.
A shit ton of something. You just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, you got a shit ton of
surprise.
something. It's just gonna be something.
I did contemplate at one point building a deck where it was as much of those, or not as much as you can fit, but it'd be like I actually really liked it. It was Lear, Catilda, and Lear when they did those like partner in one card things.
Yeah.
But then it would be like what's the white card from Assassin's Creed, Templar Knights.
Yeah,
oh, yes.
Templar Knight is another one. Yeah,
So it's a Catilda and Lear with a bunch of Templar Knights and a bunch of the blue one. Persistent Petitioners, is that what it is?
that sounds right. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, and then you mill shit in your own graveyard. That one actually, it's kind of a fun idea. But
There you go.
it'd be interesting.
a little food for thought.
Yeah, I think Colossal Grave Reaver, if you have a cheap way to get it on into the battlefield, has a chance at doing some fun things, at least in the commander setting.
Absolutely. Luke, what's a card from Tarkir that you've got your eye on?
So here's one that I'm seeing. It's a monogram. I've never heard of it before. Actually, it's kind of exciting. It might be some hot, spicy new tech. It's called Craterhoof Behemoth. Now it's 5 and 3 green.
Shut up. Pick a different card.
Speaking of Timmy cards, they brought
Speaking
back
of Timmy cards,
they brought back the Timmiest Timmy card ever Timmied.
The Timmy card.
I do have 2 actual answers though. But so speaking back to what I said before about how I was kind of just hoping that this would give me more like teamer stuff to play with. I didn't really count into how heavily it would like fall onto the dragon theme, which I mean is fine, and I should have anticipated that. But,
It says Dragonstorm.
Yep, we gave you a bunch of shit for that before, didn't we? But the one that it's an uncommon. People were talking about it, how it's either like Snapcaster at home or whatever other kind of Songcrafter Mage. That one's pretty sweet. I like it an awful lot. You can't play it everywhere for sure, but for someone like me who wants fun new teamer toys, I'm probably gonna put that into my Flubs deck.
What's it do
more
again?
Than likely. It's teamer for its casting, so green, blue, red. It's flash for a 3/2. When this creature enters, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains Harmonize until end of turn, which is the new teamer keyword. Its Harmonize cost is equal to its mana cost, and then I don't believe we've talked about Harmonize yet. You may cast this card from your graveyard. For its Harmonize cost, you may tap a creature you control to reduce that cost by X, where X is its power. Then exile the spell. So I probably am going to put that into my Flubs Slime Against Humanity deck. I think that'd be a good home for it. It's a fun teamer card, and that's about the funnest teamer card I could find in here for things that I care about. But the other one, I know Levi's going to roll his eyes, and he's not going to like that I'm saying this one, but a cool low drop mono blue commander, Tygam Master Opportunist. That one seems fun. If I can't have like all my little teamer toys, I can do my other favorite, which is a mono blue toy. And Tygam seems pretty fun. The one it's got Flurry, which is that
that's
Jeskai
Flurry.
ability.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it, then exile the spell you cast with 4 time counters on it. If it doesn't have suspend, it gains suspend. So you just get some suspended free shit. And of course, there's tricks to like remove counters and such. So that one seems pretty fun. Will I make a mono blue deck of it? It's a possibility. It's possible. I won't say
It's
no.
possible.
All right,
is
so
possible.
my card for Tarkir is very much in the vein of the type of decks I play because I am a filthy token player. I play lots and lots of token decks. So
There we go.
and I've also recently got very
Jeskai
much.
something.
What was that?
Is it Jeskai something? Jeskai.
So it's actually my chosen card for Tarkir that I really like is Sage of the Skies. 2 and a white. It's a human monk 2/3. When you cast the spell, if you've cast another spell this turn, copy the spell. It is a 2/3 flying and lifelink, which I love. This pushes a lot of buttons for me. One, it's kind of it vibes with Spellslinger decks, so it vibes with any Jeskai deck. It's gonna really like that. And it's making copies of flying lifelinkers that are 2/3s, which is a nice body in general to have on the battlefield. Where you're out of the range of shocks and a number of other like cheap removal spells that you see in standard right now. And I really like this, and like I said, and I got kind of hinted at it there too. So like I still play Commander with friends and all that stuff like that, but recently, and this is partially due to me qualifying for an RC that I'm going to be playing in about a month and a half or whatever, but I've been playing a ton of standard the last few months, really, just kind of grinding stuff out. I won my RCQ with a Boros Mice deck, and I'm probably going to play a version of that at the RC right now because there's still fun stuff in here. But this guy right here, I may look at. There's a slot in that deck in my version of that deck that I think he can fit because right now, that slot has been kind of rotating around between different cards. I've had Screaming Nemesis there for a while. I've had a 3-man enchantment. I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but it's a red 3-man enchantment. It's Itali's something. Basically, it enchants and then you discover 3, and it gives it 1/1 and trample or whatever, which is a really nice one to have. Like if you dump it onto a mouse or something like that, then all of a sudden does that, and then you can discover into maybe a Sheltered by Ghosts or something like that. But that 3-mana slot, I've been kind of playing around with different things right now, and in that deck, I think this might be an interesting candidate for it because this deck, that mouse deck especially, likes to play a cantrip during combat, so maybe like a Monstrous Rage, or if you're playing like a Shard Mage's Rescue as protection, like if someone tries to blow up your mouse during combat or something like that, you're going to be casting a spell during combat a lot of times, or you're going to be casting an enchantment before combat. So this monk is a great option for the second main phase in that deck as kind of a curve topper at 3 mana, which is a funny thing. But in a Boros deck, a 3 mana kind of is the curve topper. But at the top end of that curve, whereas if I've cast a Monstrous Rage on my Emberheart Challenger or something like that, and in the second main phase, I've still got 3 or 4 mana open. I can cast that monk and get 2/3 flyers, which in standard is a really nice. That's a very good, evasive, helpful body to have. And now you got 2 of them, which is really great because now it's still not out of nowhere to run range, which is kind of a big qualifier in right now in standard because nowhere to run is such a powerful enchantment. We don't need to get too far into standard right now, but it's an interesting one no matter what because now you get 2 of them, which just said even nowhere to run only hits 1 of them, so that's really really handy, and it's an evasive lifelinker, which is humongous in aggro decks. So I'm really excited to try this guy out, to try this monk out in standard. I think there's lots and lots of fun potential.